All right, I should be streaming. Just going to open up YouTube on one of these tabs. Sorry, the tabs are hiding under the camera right now, so I can't actually see shit. Boom. That's all good to go. Your channel. Mint. All right. So, we're going to pick up where we left off. I'm doing a databases assignment, and I asked ChatGPT to write up some shit for me, an example database, to test these questions. Go get it. So now I gotta figure this shit out. So, we came to an interesting discovery. We cannot just use join, because if we join all of this stuff together, what happens if we join company and shares? We get all the different shares, but if we join this with employee, it joins on the basis of EID and CID, meaning we only see employees' shares that they have in their own company, not shares that they have in other companies. So what we need to do is we need to do an open-ended share so that we keep all the shares available, and that the rest is just null with respect to right outer join employee. C'est bon. Employee 17. Yeah, so we got 17 rows because we keep all of them open. The big thing is that this makes shit painful because it's keeping it on the basis of, or it's organizing it by company ID when I would much rather do it by share ID. Because what's the condition here? We're looking for the EID, yeah, employee ID of employees that work for a company named Google but have more than 500 shares in a company named Facebook. Company name. Yeah, so what's happening is that shares are by, company, CID, company location, EID. What is happening here? Because what I want is to have company name appear pretty much twice. Because I need to know the company of the employee, and then I need to know the company ID of the singamaboob of the share. I need to take away that rope. You're going to start eating it. Okay. So stand up straight. Oh. Here we go. Share ID. Yeah, share employee ID, share number. So what if instead of that I do a Cartesian product, cross join, execute query. Okay. But the question is, am I getting... No, that's not what I'm getting. Shite. 68 rows and then open row winners. Jesus fucking Christ. $68 rows. So what am I looking for exactly? I want to know, what am I looking for exactly? Find the employee ID of company employees that have find the employee ID of employees of a company named Google that have more than 500 shares in a company named Facebook. So it would be nice if I had employee.company name and then share.company name. Because the shares show what employee, yeah. Share num, yeah. Silly bub. Yeah, because the shares hold the company of what the shares invested in, right? Yeah. My mic's dirty as shit. I need to clean this up. It's dusty. Yeah, I'm gonna do this just for shits and giggles. Oh, there's not enough power in here. I need to get a new duster. Damn it. Oh, hi, Moose. So what I would like to do is have shares in company join together and then just select the EID, the company name, and the share num. Yeah, let's do that real quick. Yeah, because that's what all I'm interested in. And that way we're basically essentially just replacing CID with company name, which will be nice. There it is. Okay. So only select employee ID, company name, and share num. Yeah. Sharnum. There we go. All right, 66 rows. Why do we have so many? Cross company and shares. Oh, shite. Not looking for that. I'm looking for the natural join of the two. Boom. Sweet. So this is every... yeah. So this is the employee ID of every single person here. This is the share num that they have in each company. So employee 101 has 200 shares in Google. Okay, yeah, that works. That works. I like that. So we will have this veered over here as a separate entity. And then what I want to do, I might comment this out real quick, just to get it out of the way. Because what I want to do now is I want to join employee and company together so I can get an idea of which employees. Yeah. I'm being so spastic right now. But what I want to do is I want to naturally join employee and company so I get company name instead of company ID. So I can see each employee and which company they belong to, because we're doing it on the basis of company name, not company ID. So that's your big thingy here. So yeah, I want to select. We are looking for the EID though, right? In the thing. Yeah, find the EID. Okay, so yeah, I need EID and then company name, essentially. Yeah, so EID, company name of what is the natural join of employee and company. And execute query. Yeah, so this should just give me the company names of all 7 employees. Beaut. Now let's rename this to perhaps relation 2. What is the rename operator? Pretty sure this was it. Rename columns operator. Oh no, I want to rename relations. Where is that in my notes? Is it the P operator here? Rename relation. That is it. Beauty. Okay. So we'll name it. Shite. Yeah, how does it go again? No, that is the one. Okay. columns. This company.company name. What am I getting here? Is it still company.company name when I run this one, or is the company name different? It is company.company name. So if I join these two, it's going to join on the basis of company name. And I don't want that to happen. Actually, I need CID as well. No, I've already got EID here. Okay, we're good. It's also going to join on the basis of EID. So it's going to do the thing we don't want it to do, or it's going to join on the basis of these two criteria and dramatically reduce the amount of... it'll only show the shares that each employee has in their own company. That's not what we want. So this is every employee and the company they belong to. I need EID. And so essentially what I want to do yeah. Looking for the EID of companies, company named Google that have more than 500 shares in a company named Facebook. So what I could do at this point is just say company name is equal to this, boom, and then just get all those EIDs, and then do another thingamabob. Company employee, company name. Yeah, and then I could just say get the EID of, but do it by company name is equal to Google. Execute query, Butte. That's all we wanted in that. Yeah, EID company name. Wow, let's get rid of this bit real quick so we can just double check, make sure that that is in fact fuck off. All right, control. What? Ah! All right, execute query. Piss. Yeah, no, I want company name in there. Google. Yeah, so it's 101, 102, and 201. Okay. Execute query. 101, 102, 201. Beaut. Okay, so we have all the EIDs we're looking for. We can now join these two together on the basis of EID. EID. Yeah, we do have EID from there. Yeah, we can do the natural join of EID and then just have X natural join of these two, and then just do it on the basis of well, no, yeah, we'll run this first. So we should have 101, 102. Yeah, 102. Okay. 101, 101, 101, 102, 102, 201. Okay, yeah, so these are all the shares that all these employees have in other companies. These, okay, yeah, so this is so convoluted. What the fuck? Okay. Yes. So first what we want to do is find the EID company name and share num of company shares. And what that does is this finds essentially the employee number, the company name, and the share numbers of all shares. Okay. And then we take employee and company and we do the natural join and we select only the EID for employees that are a part of Google. And so we've got only the EID we only have the employee ID of employees that work at Google. Yes, so then when we join all the shares by EID, we get only the shares of employees that work at Google. Okay, so now we can then apply the filter. We only want to select rows where the company name is Facebook and the share num is greater than 500. Oh, equal to. Here we go. Fack off. What's up here? Could not find column company name in schema. It's right there. Do I need to do company.company name? That is not how you spell company, dumbass. Could not find company.company name in schema. Okay, no, I need to put brackets around the whole fucking thing. Boom. Then we can do this. All right. Company name is equal to Facebook. Sweet. And then we just select for the EID. Oh, you fucking bastard. EID. So what we're going to see here is we're going to select only these two rows because these are the only ones that have Facebook. And then we're going to get 101 because he's the only one with shares over 500. Okay. Execute query. 101 and 102. Where the fuck did 102 come from? Back the fuck up. Back the fuck up. All right. 102. Facebook. Oh. Control Z. I'm only looking for shares in Facebook. I forgot to do the and share number. There we go. Share num greater than 500. Execute query. There we go. Now we got just 101. Beauty. That is what we are looking for. And converting this is going to be a righteous pain in the ass. Assignments. This is databases. Oh, I didn't move it in there. That's why it's empty. Okay. Boom. Shakalaka. Okay. I'm going to break this down into parts. P, that is eta. That is not eta. That is rho. Okay, I should know this. That rho is an important quantity in fluid mechanics. It is density. Okay, it is density. Yes. I was thinking I was fucking my mind sideways there for a second. So employees. Yeah, we'll name it employees at Google. Okay, yeah, so row. Employees at Google. Probably the simplest one. Yeah. Is going to be pi EID sigma company name is equal to Google. And then that will be on the natural join of employee and company. Chef's kiss. Let's just actually double check, make sure this works properly. And then we rename this to shit, where'd it go? There we go. I want to just copy that for now. I'll call this employees at Google. Butte. It's already in brackets, so I don't need to worry about it. So then I call us employees at Google. What's this here? Expected brackets. How do I do it in steps? This is dumb. EID, company name, share names. This one's going to be, yes. So rename. Shares by EID. How does renaming work? Natural join, rename. What the fuck? All right. Nope. That's the first one. Rename relation. Yes, I want to rename a relation. Okay, so row example. I want to do it in multiple lines. How do I do that? Multi-line comment, general syntax, single line comment, predefined relation, inline relation? Predefined relation with name relation name. The code completion only works for these relations. Customers cross-join accounts. Okay, no, that's not what I wanted. Okay, unary opens projection selection rename order by group by duplicate elimination Oh, okay, that's quite useful. I'd like to have this as multiple lines. How do I use multiple lines? Core concept, relations, bags, multi-set strand, alternative plane, relational algebra. Let's just go through the basic shit here. We'll open up a new chat with ChatGPT here. When using relax How do I spread out the query over multiple lines to make the query more readable? This is the right relaxing. Oh, fuck you! Or how to use the rename. Almost like a variable. Now, does that work? Doesn't seem like it. Yeah, it's essentially what I'm doing. Okay. Employees at Google. Naturally join these two. And then yeah, that's way easier to figure out. Okay, that works. No. Okay. Shite, the I is in there. I did not mean to do that. I meant to put it here. Shit. Shit. No, I want a capital. Why the fuck is numlocks on? All right. Into steps. Paragraph. I want that to be this. Butte. All right. Fuck you. All right. row, employees at Google. And then I want shares by EID. Fuck off. That's going to be fucker. Pi EID company name and share num. Of company and shares. And then I want to do pi of EID sigma of company name is equal to Facebook, and it's wedge. Yes. Share num greater than 500, and that's going to be the natural join of employees at Google bow tie shares by EID. Oh, that was a pain in the ass. Find the EID of employees, the managers of whom have shares in a company that the employees work for. Okay, hold on. Before I think about this, I need more water. My mouth is dry. I'll be back. I returned with water. And the idea of employees. Man, what is part 3? Because I know with part 4 I can't use this shit. Consider the relational database schema. This express in tuple relational calculus the following. All right. Tuple relational calculus. Gross. Gross. Okay. Never. Find the EID of employees, the managers of whom have shares in a company that the employees work for. All right, so let's take a look at our relational database here. So manager ID is another number. It's a bit of a weird question. Find the EID of employees, the managers of whom have shares in a company that the employees work for. We can probably assume that a manager of an employee is going to work at the same company as the employee. Like, I don't think that's too out there. Group editor. Yeah, so an employee has a manager of 201. 201 works at 1, same as this guy. Same here. 201 works at 1, and 102 works at 1, and 201 works at 1. We have 103 who works at 2, and his manager is 2, and he also works, 202. His manager works at 2. And then 104, and his manager is 202. Okay, yeah. 104 works at 3, and his manager is 202, but 202 works at 2. Okay. Okay, so interesting. So what I could do, so here we have an interesting situation where not the employee or the manager of an employee doesn't have to work at the same company as the employee, which makes zero fucking sense, but we'll just go with it for the point of this question, making it a bit more difficult for us. So yippee. Announcements? What's this? I'll check that out later. Okay. So what we need to do is make sure that the company ID or the CID of the manager matches up with the CID of the employee. That way we ensure that the employees and the managers work in the same spot. So how to join employee with itself? Obviously, I can't just do a natural join. What I could do is I could rename employee to manager, do a cross join, and make sure that employee CID or CID, employee.cid is equal to manager.cid. How am I going to get manager here? So a manager is essential. No, that doesn't always work because a manager could have a manager. It'll work in this case, but like, that's this case. We're not given a case to work from here, like in our assignment. The one thing I'm worried about is, well, let's say a manager has a manager, right? I can't just rely on null. Basically, if you have null as a manager ID, then you're not a manager, because a manager could have a manager. Shite. So how to join these two together? We could have another selection here. Well, I guess maybe. If we do a Cartesian product of employee and with itself, but we rename one of them to manager, so we essentially get a cross product of employee and manager. What does that exactly do for us? We're going to take the size of this, multiply it by itself, square it, and that's what size we're going to get. For every entry here, we're going to get all these entries. What I want it to do is we're going to have this with itself. Okay. What am I looking for again? The EID of employees, the managers of whom have shares in the company that the former the employees work for. What are you chewing on? You're chewing on something you're supposed to be chewing on? Yeah, you are. You're chewing on your chew toy. Good, good. So the managers and the employees, their CID have to match. Okay, so I don't really even have to worry about who or who is not a manager or not. Well, I kind of do, because what's going to happen is in Relax here, I'm going to join all of these together. I'm going to rename one instance of this relation manager, and then I'm going to join this together. So this is going to be right next to another entry of itself and every other person here. And basically, I'm only interested in people who are managers being in the manager branch or in the manager relation. So I need to find all people who are managers. So how do I find a manager? I find a manager if I do the cross product of these two and EID matches with manager ID. Yeah, I think that's the right call. And that should give me all managers. Let's just test that to be sure. We will rename this relation managers, and it will be the cross product of shit. Okay, I was gonna already rename the thing managers. Yeah. So we'll have employee, and we'll Cartesian product it with a renamed version of itself called manager. Manager, and that will be called employee. And then we only want to select those entries where EID is equal to MID or manager ID. Oh, ID. Now that should be sigma. Oh, employee. Wait a minute. Okay, so what's happening here is we're getting the cross product of this with everything else, and we're going to get two duplicates of this, or not duplicate, but one's going to have manager.ead, one's going to have manager.cid, one's going to have manager salary ID, and the other one's going to be the same but for employees, and they're going to be right next to each other. And for this, we're going to have right next to it every single one of these entries, but in the manager section. And so we know that an employee is a manager if the employee.eid matches up with the manager ID, I think. So what am I actually doing there when I do that? So if I match this with every other thingamabob, yeah, so let's say we have this. Let's just throw up a fucking Excel for funsies. We'll take this. Hold on. Data. Where is it? Text to columns. Text to columns. There we go. Delimited. Next by a comma. Finish. Boom. So we're going to have this. Oh, shite. For every single one of these entries. Shift. Paste. Butte. So just copy this all down. So what's going to happen here is we're going to have EID, CID, salary, manager, and this is all for the employee relation, and then EID, CID, salary, manager ID for the manager side. And essentially, if the EID here matches up with the manager ID, that tells us that we have a manager. I think so. So we know this guy is not a manager. Not going to happen. Same thing until we get to 201 here. We get to 201 and 202. We're going to see, yes, we do see that these people are managers. So at that point, we're going to have a few duplicates, aren't we? Shite. Okay, yeah. How do we get rid of that? Because I don't think we've figured out how to get rid of duplicates yet in class. So yeah, we're going to take the cross product of these two. Boom, shakalaka. Yeah, 49. Yeah, makes sense. And then we want to do employee. What the fuck? Employee.eid is equal to manager dot manager ID. What are you talking about? Fuck you on about? Could not. Oh, right. I need to rename that to manager. Butte, execute query, 5 rows. So, all right. Okay, we got that. Manager ID. Sweet. So we've got the 2 here. So we found all managers in a thingamabob. Okay, sweet. Why is the manager salary different? It's because of these. Okay. There is a way we could do this. We only want to select manager.manager ID and then employee.employee ID. And that should get rid of duplicates. Oh, shite. Sweet. Query. 2 rows. Butte. So we have now found all managers. I could probably also do CID. Oh. I felt there was a similar example of this in one of the tutorials. Yeah, it's simple. Yeah. Someone sent me a message. Nothing important. Relational model. Smith is in. What does R mean in this context? It's probably select. This is almost certainly predicate or filter. I'm really sleeping on the remove keyword. That's it. It's quite a powerful one. Oh, man. So I found all the managers. let's just say we'll also expand our group a little bit more. We'll just say there is this 301 figure who works at company 2. He's making like $250,000 annually, and his thing is null. But here we've got 301. So a manager, fuck, I don't need to do that. All right. Preview, using group editor. Relational algebra, execute here, and we should have 3 rows now. Wonderful. So this finds all managers. Okay. This is a bit of a fucking pain in the ass. Is there an easier way to do this? How do we tell that? Yeah, well, how do I tell all managers are an employee, and how do I find man. What am I even looking for again? Find the EID of employees, the managers of whom have shares in the company that the employees work for. Okay, so I have to figure out who here is an employee, and or a manager, and if the manager of an employee has shares in the company that he works for. Oh, fuck. Ow. Head hurts. So we figured out a way how to find all managers. Basically, we do the cross product, and we see that if the employee ID is equal to the manager ID, that's all employees that are managers. So find all employees that are managers. I've done that. Now I need to find the shares of employees. Christ. Find the employee ID of employees, managers of whom have shares in company that the former works for. Right. Fuck, my brain hurts. Is there a simpler way to do that? Because this is just one step. Like, what the fuck? All right. I feel like I'm sleeping on other methods here. Isn't at the end of this there shows a review of all of these and what they're for? Fuck me. I did write down notes for that tutorial, I'm pretty sure. Databases. No, I did not write down notes for that tutorial. Fuck me. I know natural join. Name operation. Cartesian product. Set difference. Okay, yeah. All elements that are present in one relation, remove them from another. Could I use that effectively here? I don't know. Union. Yeah, the union ain't terribly difficult. Projection is very simple. Predicate's also very simple. Oh, I got another notification. Ugh. Set difference, Cartesian product. Natural join, division, assignment. Generalized projection. Where's generalized projection? Okay, that's aggregation. Ugh. Is there an easier way of describing this? Find the employee ID of employees of a company named Google that have more than 500 shares. Oh, wait, no. Find the employee ID of employees, the managers of whom have shares in the company that the employees are employed for, and that the employees work for. All right, so an employee has to have a manager, and that manager has to have shares, and the shares of that company have to match the shares of the employee, or the company ID of the employee. Okay, so that actually makes shit a bit simpler if I say it that way. The employee has to have a manager ID. The employee has to have a manager, and that manager has to have shares, and then the share CID has to match the employee CID. So instead of doing anything, what I could do is I could just join employee and shares, but on the basis of manager ID. Essentially, if manager ID matches up with EID in shares, then we join them together, and where we see 201 here, we get all of the things for whatever 201 is. Yeah, all the different shares of 201. I then check the CID of that relation versus the CID of employee, and Bob's your uncle, essentially. So what I need to do is rename the EID column in shares to manager ID, join it with employee, and then check employee. Oh, wait. And then I also need to rename CID to something else. Because I don't. Yeah, I could do. Yeah, I could do a Cartesian join and then do the select of manager ID is equal to EID in shares. And then also CID employee.cid is equal to shares.cid. That could work. We'll give that one a shot. All right. We will do the Cartesian product of employees and shares. And then we're going to do this bad boy. And so employee dot manager ID what's giving me grief here? Okay. Manager ID is equal to shares.cid. Expected a bracket. Is this gonna work? Let's see. Okay. Okay. Qu'est-ce que la fuck? All right. 17 times 8, BUT. So shares, yeah. Shares has 17 rows, employees has 8, so 8 times 7 is the width that we're going to get. So employee manager ID, if that matches up with shares.eid, then that shows that an employee has a share, or that we're getting manager shares, essentially, is what I'm looking for. Yes, there we go. That should be a line that should be showing up. Employee.manager ID is equal to shares.eid. Oh, CID, dumbass. Okay. There we go. So here we're now looking at the shares of each employee or each manager, essentially. But we also have information for employees. So yeah, this should work because we've got about 5 employees, and each employee has a manager. And 301 isn't showing up because 301 doesn't have any shares. So find all employees. How did I phrase that? Because the phrasing it differently helped. Oh yeah, find every employee who has a manager in a company where that company ID is equal to the employee company ID. Okay, sweet. So yeah, this shows the shares of each manager, essentially. Yeah. So yeah, now we also do big wedge. Employee.cid is equal to shares.cid. That gives us 3 rows. And then we just select employee ID, BD. Fuck's sakes. Magnifique. So this shows all employees whose managers have shares in the same company. So 201, who does 201 all have shares in? 201 has shares in 1 and 3, which is Google and Amazon. And so these guys both have work for Google, and he's got shares in Google. So that works. And then the next guy, shite. What was the next thing that we saw? Result 104. 104, his boss is 202. So these work in different places, funnily enough, 3 at Amazon, but the other guy works at Facebook. And 202, he does have shares in Amazon. Okay. Brilliant. So that worked, yeah. So find the cross product of employees and shares and match the employee manager ID to the EID of the shares so that we only find the shares of managers. And yeah, okay. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. That should not have taken me as long as it did. Oh, fuck. All right. Okay. Pi employee. Okay. Dot EID. And then sigma of employee.manager. Fuck you. Manager ID is equal to shares dot EID. And then I need wedge. Yeah, still doing it right. Employee dot CID is equal to shares dot CID. Magnifique. Employees cross. What is cross product here? Equation times, okay, whatever. Shares. Okay. All right, next question. Find the EID of employees that have shares from at least 3 different companies. Do not use aggregation. Shite. So I can't use a count function? Is aggregation a count function? I mean, is count an aggregation number, you fucking moron? I really wish I had that one TA's notes, because she had some useful tips at the end of those notes where it's like, use this kind of function for this kind of goal, like for all or something like that. And I remember division being something like that. Not quite. All right, find the EID of employees that have shares from at least 3 different companies. So here we see that we've got 4 employees that fit that description. So how do we figure that out? Can't use the count function. Which is frustrating because count would be the most easy and straightforward way to do that. This is the paradigms part. Lab, okay. This is old news. There you go. It's programming paradigms. Oh, joy. Okay. Don't need paradigms open at the moment. Sit up straight. Posture is important. So what happens if we do like the cross product of shares? Let's bring back Excel. I do the cross product of shares for this guy. This guy fits our definition. So how do we find him? Data. Nope. Data tools, text columns. Limited, comma, finish, boom. So if we do the cross product of this, this is what we get as the result. So if company ID shares equal to over here, that means that this is an identical share. We can remove that. Boom, boom. But yeah, as I figured, that leaves us with 6 entries. It doesn't really tell us much. That was my first approach, do the cross product of all these things, and for where the EID matches but the CID doesn't, keep the rows, but that doesn't really tell us anything. Because I would still want to count. So what this does is it tells us of each employee that has at least, like if we take the EID of this, what it tells us is the employee number of an employee that has shares in at least 2 companies. But like we already know that. What do we do the cross product of this again? I need to do this 6 fucking times. Let's do it like once or twice. Does the logic repeat itself? Let's take this fella here. Thank you. So if we do the cross product of these, this guy, and then we say, all right. If these If items in these columns match, then remove them. Boom and boom. And then let's say we cross product this thing again. We could say, okay, if these two columns match these two columns, then remove it. No. No, what would that even mean at that point? Fuck, okay, I'm phrasing the question wrong, I think, because I'm just not asking myself the right questions here. Okay, so in our current database, we've got 4 people who match the criteria. Find the EID of employees that have shares from at least 3 different companies. Do not use aggregation. So I can't use the count function. So if I were to use the count function, I would just count how many times EID appears in a thingamabob, and then just like in the shares. So what could I... Oh, tired pup. What could I do here to figure this out? I'm thinking about maybe using set removal. But the thing is that I need to do that for every possible combination here. Because if I remove 2 and 1, well, this guy remains. 2 and 1, and this guy remains. 2 and 1, this guy remains. 2 and 1, this guy remains. What was I even getting at with that? Find the EID of employees that have shares from at least 3 different companies. Do not use aggregation. Shares from at least 3 different companies. What happens if I remove every share with a CID that's equal to 1? Get rid of this guy, get rid of this guy, get rid of this guy, get rid of this guy. All these fellows still remain. And then say if I get rid of all CIDs equal to 2, I get rid of this guy, I get rid of this guy, I get rid of this guy, I get rid of this guy. And then I can say, well, I've removed 2 companies. If you're still around, that means you must have more than 3. But that assumes that you've got shares in company 1 and company 2. This guy does not have shares in company 1 and company 2. He's only got shares in company 2. So he's going to show up in our list, even though he's only got shares in 2 different companies. So what could work is if you've only got shares in one company, and if we were to cross join this and then remove all elements where EID is equal and CID is equal, then that row's getting eliminated. That person's not going to end up here. So if we have, CID, but you've only got the 1 share, and then you cross product with 1 share. 1 times 1 is 1. EID is the same, and if the CIDs are the same, remove it. So that guy's not going to show up in that query. Let's try this again with the 2 people. All right, so if we have this and we do the cross product, we're going to get this. 2 times 2 is 4 but. So that comes down, this comes down. EID is the same in this instance, all good. And now basically, if any 2 entries in these 2 columns are identical, remove them. Boom. And boom. Boom and boom. This guy's still hanging around, so what that means is that he has shares in more than 1 company. What happens if we do the cross product again? Well, what are we even looking at here? What we see is we've got his 2 shares. This is actually just identical to what was before. So if we do this again, but we take this, put it here, take that down, take that here. What pattern might we find? Okay, so this column and this column, they have matching pairs. Like each one's going to have matching pairs is the problem, right? Because here we've got 2, 2. Yeah. We've got 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2. This is the one relation. This is the one relation. We'll just highlight it so that I can see that they're different. Yeah. 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, and 3, 2, 3, 2. What we want is for these to all eliminate themselves. So we could say if something in this column is equal to something in this column, remove it. And if something is equal in this column is equal to this column, remove it. We could use an OR statement, and that would remove all of these. So this is equal to this, remove it. This is not equal to this, but this is equal to this. No, it's not. Okay. Christ. Okay. Yeah, we'll do the true or false thing. This true. True, false, true. And this is equal to this. True. False, true. So what I could do is do not, false, and then do that down. And then if we do or of the 2 of these, or of those 2, everything comes out true, and all of these get removed. But I have to make sure that this condition doesn't also hold true for if you've got 3. So let's do 3. So comme ça. And then boom. Boom. Oh, shit. Okay. So we played the same game as before. If a column here is equal to a column here, then we remove it. All right, it's true, remove it. This is true, remove it. This is true, remove it. That leaves us with this. We're going to do 6 times 6 is going to be 36 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh shit, I didn't find that. We'll get rid of this statement here. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's get some move down to 2, 2. Yeah. Next time it says 2, 2. Next time it starts with 2, 2, which is right here. Leave 2 above this time, yeah. Oh shit, I missed that one. 2, 2. Leave 3 above this time. Yep. Leave 4 above. Yep, there we go. Oh, shite almighty. Alright, so essentially, I need all these conditions to not always hold true. Okay, true, but there is a few falses here. Now, do these falses actually tell us what we want to hear? Oh, you poor thing. We'll do conditional formatting here. Six results remain. we're almost at 11 o'clock. Probably take a break to eat soon. This will work. This will remove everything that has less than 2. But now the big question is, how the fuck do I implement something like that? Alright. So, first I need to do shares in the cross product with itself. Shares. Our shares. Our shares. $289 rows, yes. So we only want to select rows where, yeah, the share EID and our shares EID is equal, and but let's then repeat this. Or better yet, oh fuck, we got like 4 columns. We gotta do this shit too. Fuck me. Oh, fuck me sideways. Yeah, we'll do this after a little break. I'm gonna end the stream, make some breakfast, and then we'll get back to it. All right.